Hello, everybody out there in Twitch and land. Welcome to finale, part 1, potentially the finale of the Tal'Dorei campaign. Maybe not the whole campaign, at least this story arc, but it could be. You never know. It's the finale. We don't know what's happening right now. Hello, Philip. Now, I'm going to put out all of my self-promotion and jazz. Don't mind me. If you want to follow or support us on any of our platforms and channels, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Really encourage you to do it, and we really appreciate you doing it as well. And don't forget, we are doing sub goals for the game. We have 5 subs before we play marbles, but more importantly, guys, I'm turning back on viewer inspirations. So anybody out there who is not a player in this game, if you give 500 bits to the channel, you get to throw an inspiration, which counts as a luck point to one of the players that you see. Yup, and I know exactly who you all are in chat, Philip. But yes, if you want to support a couple of characters, help them out when things are going very rough or bad for them, it's only 500 bits. Give them a viewer inspiration. But anyways, please, Gorinsky, tell us what happened last session.
Yeah, pretty succinctly, last time we were outside of the Ivy Heart Thicket, staying with Mitch, and had gathered to depart inside of it when a force of nature emerged from inside, who appeared to be Grog, completely out of his mind, completely covered head to toe in items of power that he was very familiar with, and proceeded to try to bash his way through the protection bubble that was covering the thicket. So we made our way kind of around him using, I think it was some type of illusionary magics to kind of keep him distracted. And while we made our way around, diverted about a mile or two southward, we kind of hooked back towards the thicket and made our way inside, upon which, due to Prissa's malleable illusions and terrain manipulation, we were able to comfortably and at a decent pace make our way through the forest. But after some time, the forces sensing us did eventually fall upon us, and we were kind of forced to fight a couple different agents of Jorvik, and yeah, wound up in one fight, and then upon trying to take a short rest, found ourselves fighting off more of those forces, and that's kind of where we found ourselves at the end of the last session, with a added feeling of death saves were going to be more difficult, and an idea that if Vorvik were to lock eyes on us when we fell down, bad things would happen. So, yeah, we're kind of much worse for wear, and don't wanna die, guys.
You've all just completed your second round of the grueling battle against these creatures that just persist in the forest now, these malformed creations from Vorvik. Konaroth able to discern that they were malformed people of their own volition. Join him.
One more thing, Jero. Very important thing that I want to make sure Prissa hears too. I put it in the chat or whatever, but we also came to the conclusion that the hungering ones that we were fighting do tend to increase in size and vitality upon seeing people imbue themselves with life-enhancing magic. So potions, healings, those sorts of things.
Yeah, I've figured that out after watching the.
Yeah, and this is also a reminder to everybody else. Just
Yeah, of course,
Just
of course.
okay. Yeah, no, that's always
Yes,
good.
definitely.
I have an idea for maybe a way to deal with that, but we'll see if it actually works.
We left the battlefield that we banished the other one from, though, right? I remember that.
Yes, you all ran for a period of time, but yet again, you're caught heaving and catching your breath, tired and looking around you at the still persistent, dark, gloomy sky and the snow that is falling upon this area currently. All of you looking even worse than when you first set out to try to find cover and respite from the relentless onslaught.
So, do we push onward or do we try to catch a breath?
I say we don't know how far we can keep going if we've run into any more of them.
Well, if we can all manage to get up in a tree and stay hidden or something, we just need like some time for Prissa to do her magics.
Well, if you give me a couple minutes, I can make a giant tree around us, like the one we saw in that rainforest. And that might be a good disguise.
Need to be up in the trees.
Yes, we need to get up.
Like in Unoa with that archaeologist.
Name was Nathan
Hi.
Gale.
Thank you. No, cares to remember his name.
Oh, you will.
Oh, he was just an unimportant side character,
Wow. Okay.
And the revenge has been plotted.
That was Prissa, not me.
Oh no, that's Wyatt, not me. The only NPC he hasn't brought in yet is Glacies, so... Alright! Anyways, you do look around yourselves, and if you stay here for too long, you are going to have them walk their path over towards you all.
We should probably have Prissa get up in the tree, and then we can keep moving on the ground while she does her.
Sorry, mechanic question. With the spell that she's using to manipulate the terrain, can she, while we're walking, can she make, like, at the edge of her terrain, make the thing we need, and we just walk there and it's done?
Well, she would have to know the location. She doesn't see omnipotently for a mile. She just manipulates it to her will.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. The problem with trying to create a very specifically functioning thing here is she has to be aware of where and what she is doing. But for only those limitations, remember, it took God 6 days to create the world. And it's taking Prissa 10 minutes to create a mile. So.
Well, I have something that might work, basically Prissa is going to start trying to manipulate the terrain, so use the action one for the 30 minutes to make like a kind of like this, make a dome around the group but disguise it as a rock so it looks just like a big boulder.
All right.
That's found in this forest. And maybe put like tiny little holes in it so party can have some light in there.
All right, roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, no.
What?
I mean,
You're the wizard. You're good at this.
No, I mean, I'm good at intelligence checks, but I'm also scared because my rolls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Person is technically good at this.
Prissa, you do create the rock-like hold over top of all of you. But the way that you position a lot of the slits inside of it to see around you, and the way it just kind of appeared out of nowhere, all of you with the very high passives that this party averagely has, you can tell the creatures from a distance are moving in from the noise and kind of just looming towards. Remember, they're not that sentient, they're not that intelligent, but they are looming towards it.
Do you think they noticed?
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, all right then. And another action thing to instead change it from a rock into just pure. What's the strongest metal other than adamantium? I guess. I
Adamantium.
don't know. Adamantium.
Yeah.
It's an adamantium shelter. And then after that, I'm going to use my next couple actions to, from underneath us, start raising us up like a kind of a elevator. Yeah, elevator
Ready?
sort of thing.
So you're erecting a giant pillar with a.
With
A
a
green
ground-
pillar.
Yeah. And then actually, and just for flavor wise too, Jero, would it be alright if I had it so like towards the top as we get higher, it starts to kind of sprout to look like a tree?
Give me another intelligence check. You create this, but as it's moving upwards, because of your limited perception from the exterior of what you're sitting in, you're starting to topple over trees that exist in the area, knocking and crashing them over, distorting this entire landscape and drawing a vastly larger amount of attention towards you all.
I feel like I'm making this worse, Prissa says as she's manipulating this all.
How about try? Well,
I cast guidance on Prissa for whatever she tries to do next.
Yeah.
I say we move away from this position right now. And
Well, I mean, how?
it may have served well as a distraction, though. But if you could maybe
We are
do
up
something
in the
not.
air.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know how
Yeah,
high
you're
we are
like
in the air
60
right
feet
now.
in the air right now, and you see a lot more of those creatures of all varieties moving towards you.
I have another idea. It's
Prissa, could you like start making, since we're so high up now, can you make some walkways attached to other trees that we could move off of here and maybe under
so,
guise of foliage?
sort of.
tunnel?
I had an idea just and from the top of it, Prissa will release the the top portion so we can get out if we choose. And from there, I'm going to manipulate the illusionary terrain to make like just above the tree line where I assume we're at to have like.
Oh, you're nowhere near the
fog.
tree line. You're only 60 feet up.
Oh, how high is the tree line?
You're in a forest, a very thick, old, ancient forest of some of the largest trees in all of Tal'Dorei. The
So-
trees
so,
are
I mean-
100, 200 feet tall.
Oh, in that case, that's till we get to 100 feet. 90 feet, just in case one of us falls, actually. And
Give
then
me another
she's-
intelligence check
Yeah,
With guidance.
with guidance.
yeah.
Okay.
D4.
You stop around 80 feet, Prissa, because you remember, although adamantine is a lighter metal, it is metal. The taller the object, the heavier it is, the harder it is to maintain it. You
Oh,
can
I figured-
construct this terrain, and although it is a magical spell, the terrain does not produce anything magical in nature. You stop at 80 feet before it was about to topple over with all of you inside.
Ooh, that would. Bad.
Yes, you managed to stop. You stopped.
And then from there, I would I open the top. I'd like to manipulate the terrain in this general area. So at our base level, there's fog cover, but the difference is this fog. I don't know if I can do this. Is something we can step on.
Let me read the spell again, because fog is not technically terrain.
That's
I-
debatable.
Exactly. Well, let me read the spell so we don't have to debate. We can just read it.
Prissa, if you made like walkways, like bridges, attaching like they have in jungle cities where homes are attached to
Ferngully.
swinging
I
bridges.
know that
but
was
we
my
can have
second idea,
foliage.
but I wanted to try to see if there's a way that we could walk on clouds, basically, and
Don't
that we
think
could
we
be
can.
unseen doing that.
Well, there's not many clouds down here, though. I'm just trying to think of time, like
you
rather
can
than
you can create a misty terrain, which is just like a cryptic graveyard type of rolling mist, but you can't create fog.
Okay.
Fog is a weather. It is not a terrain.
In that case, since once again, I'll do this on Dorzen's back as we're moving. I
And
will go
notably, sorry, while you guys are in this tower, you already have creatures slamming against the tower, beating
Good thing
into
it's
it.
made of adamantine.
It's really tough, but it's not indestructible. It is the toughest of materials, but it is not indestructible.
So, I believe I can do this as long as I'm, concentrating on it. I'm going to be both making walkways as well as making that eerie graveyard-like kind of mist to help kind of obscure us a bit.
No,
and not just,
no, the mist.
no?
The mist will not obscure you whatsoever. That's the point of it. It's like a very small rolling mist over the terrain. A misty terrain is a real thing, which is just like a few inches. What you just described was fog with more words.
Okay, yeah, then the walkways then, but that connects us to the trees and wherever we're going.
Roll me another intelligence check.
Quick question too. Would it be within reason for when we get a certain distance manipulate the illusion in a way that the tower falls on top of those creatures?
You could certainly try.
I would like to try, if that's okay.
But not right now. Clarify.
Yeah, no, once we get far enough away, but I mean
Brinsky, go right ahead.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound.
A 20. Alright. You are manipulating and fortifying the catwalk as you are creating it, pulling out other structures just from the trees to connect to it, which is a very, very loud process for all of you. Jimmy, a fire in this area would spread east to west. East to southwest because of the way that it kind of molds with the earth. Unless, of course, Prissa changes it, because she can do that.
I mean, if this is so loud, oh no, that wouldn't.
Oh, it's very loud.
Why does everything have to be loud?
Because you're not just creating an illusion, you're actually distorting the terrain.
Well, I will say,
real.
since
Sounds real.
Since it is still within a mile, any terrain that's below, like any on the ground, even if it's already difficult, it gets even more difficult if that's all possible.
You produce a difficult terrain, sure. Thorn bushes sprout from everywhere. Because, thorns hurt when you step on them.
Yeah. I considered making a bush full of Legos, because that would be something horrible to step on, but that seemed like overkill.
Just D4s.
It's a bush full of D4s. The old kind that are super sharp.
So anyways, you all continue on this catwalk moving for a period of time. I'm just going to make a few rolls to see exactly how many creatures are now brought to your location. Because although you've seen 3 different types, there are more.
I mean, on the bright side, we are attracting them here so they don't have to worry about the people that we may or may not be saving.
We are also high up in the tree.
Yep.
But yeah, they can't
Always
reach
look
us,
on the bright side of
assumingly.
life. Life's a piece of...
Life's like a box of chocolates.
So,
Really need that short rest.
just for rough numbers, for those of you more perceptive, you notice there's about 15 to 20 lost, 10, maybe 12 lonely, and 6 hunger that have now moved into this area. You also take note of a creature that kind of melds into the trees and then starts twisting and contorting the tree around itself before melding into something else. It looks ghostly pale in nature, but it has vacant features outside of that, just like blackened indents for its cheeks, its eyes, and mouth.
Can I do a check for that? Because that.
Oh, you don't
really
notice unless they
terrifying.
tell you.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're not one of the perceptive people here.
Sir Yurik, do you see that? over there, and I'll point.
Yeah. You, Dorzen, and Sir Yurik are the perceptive three, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Dorzen, Sir Yurik, and Ace. Yeah.
Jimmy. I had to look at yours.
No, I knew it wasn't Jimmy. So, Sir Yurik, you would just ask a question?
Oh, maybe he's...
Mic
Sorry,
problems?
muted.
You're muted if you're trying to talk.
Yeah, I unmuted myself now.
Okay.
So, yes, I see that, Ace, and I'm a bit worried. Well, let's hope that we're still. Well, the illusion itself is obviously not. Obviously has been detected. Maybe our presence is still. Well, obfuscated.
Do you know anything about that creature? That weird, whatever,
Let me think.
bendy, twisty thing?
Religion?
Yes, sir.
Um,
Ace, you're incredibly well traveled. You are allowed to participate in this check as well.
Woohoo!
I'll use guidance on myself.
Of course.
And we decided religion for both of us?
Yes, sir.
Nope. That's why I asked him.
Dirty 20. You've noticed the theme, and because of your short interaction with Vordovik's imprisoned consciousness, the other half of him, he seems to be separating humans from their bad aspects. Much in the same way that the being that you are fighting against is not truly the being that is imprisoned right now being punished. He is doing the same thing that was done to him to the mortals. The hungry are people who were greedy, and because of that persecuted, though they didn't control that for themselves. The lonely were the people who didn't fit in anywhere. They were lost to themselves. They were ripped apart. And now they only seek companionship in their monstrous forms. These creatures, keeping in the same mental guidelines that you've been utilizing for understanding Vordvik and his minions, they're manipulative, they're contorting, they're fluid. Now, what trait do you think would associate with that?
Bad trait?
Let's see.
I was gonna say cunning, but
A trait that
Well-
somebody would want to no longer have.
Deceitful.
Probably deceitful. Could also be like if they have a sort of chaotic sense of life. I don't know.
Sound like my exes.
But yeah, deceitful could very well be.
Arrogant.
Manipulators.
And so far, every creature has been personified, and their abilities have been directly correlated to that personification.
Mm-hmm.
Liars. Ooh.
Maybe something that, well, I don't know, creates illusions and
Bends the
Sure.
truth.
Sorry, prison. Yeah.
sorry about what? What are you talking about?
Never mind. It's... You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, let's keep up the good work.
So you all
Okay.
keep moving. Yeah.
I was gonna say in the character. One thing I had an idea for, since I'm realizing I'm making a bunch of noise, is instead of just a single walkway, what do you think if I made a whole platform in the mile radius, that it would cover up our movement, but it would attract things, but it would still cover up where we're going per se.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's best to try and keep things simple.
Prissa,
Try not to do too many like complex things.
Yes.
if possible. I was going to say, could you try adding a cover over the walkway with almost like archer slits in the wall to try and prevent us from being attacked from above?
So other than the guardrails that I put up,
Yes. Because if
any
all these personifications of bad sides are here, and now that we know there's one that can manipulate things, the chances are there will be at least one that is flying.
that doesn't sound good. All right. And Prissa will start adding on to the walkway, just kind of like cover for us from both the weather or anything that might try to attack us.
All right. So you all continue on like this. You travel for an hour in this manner, looking down and seeing the movements, still following after as you're producing platform after platform after platform. Having to add the support gives them the area that they want to destroy in the meantime. Because of your previous role, Prissa, you are adding multiple supports, so if one falls, the entire thing does not collapse, and well, that would be bad for your allies.
Well, I was thinking that at this point it was kind of, you know how in kind of Minecraft you kind of get onto a platform and then from there you just connect it to the things that are already there.
You're smart enough to know you can't do that without support.
So I can't.
No,
make
this is not
support.
Minecraft. You have to produce
Gravity
support.
exists.
You are not creating a magical platform. You are creating a platform. So you still need support. You still have to abide by simple laws of physics. Too much weight, too high up, no support, falls, crumbles, breaks.
Well, no, because what I was trying to get at was the support would be rather than from the platform to the ground, from tree to tree. But all right.
Well, that still is something
Like
for them
suspension.
to be attached to. Something to support them. Something for the creatures to attack.
Ah, okay.
And if it's just a tree, that's a lot weaker than adamantine. Yes.
There's a lot of trees in a forest, though.
Sure.
Prissa, maybe now would be a good time to cause the big metal tree you made to collapse down to distract them.
I mean-
I say we get our rest in while we can, and use the distraction later to get away.
But how far away are we from that tree that we made towards Prissa's end of the mile?
You've been moving 30 feet, 30 feet, 30 feet, 30. Like, you're not moving very fast, but you're not, like, being inhibited at all. You've probably traveled a good mile or so. 2
So
miles,
we're like
even.
right at the cusp where she wouldn't be able to make that distraction.
Well,
She can't manipulate anything outside the mile.
yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, so she has to do it now, otherwise they can't do it.
Well, I'll do it now then, because
Yeah.
Glad I thought of that.
Yeah, good thing. So you think and you cause it to collapse aggressively.
and I will use my keen mind to remember where most of them were attacking it from,
Sure.
and cause it try to collapse on them.
Sure. You all hear
Tree.
You all hear in the distance a rumbling catastrophe, almost like an earthquake rolling through the terrain, falling and destroying many different things within the area. Collapsing, destroying, and sullying the grounds, crushing the earth beneath it, and anything that was inside of its width.
I feel like you just made it sound like I did something bad.
Well, everything that's happening is bad. This matters for who?
Do we notice the creatures react to it?
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. That wasn't me, but
Dirty
Oh,
30. Or sorry, natural 30.
he sees all.
You look down and you do notice that many of the creatures are now heading in that direction very dumbly. Only a handful of the hungry are still standing around looking up at you. The creatures that contorted themselves into trees have also twisted around your platform and just run across, heading after the noise. And they are a lot faster than they appeared before, Sir Uric. They are incredibly fast.
Well,
We're going
At least
to
we know
rest
that.
through then.
I have an idea of how I can do that, and she just stop at that tree over there. And after we get to that tree, Prissa will continue the walkway, not to where we need to go, but in an entirely different direction, and kind of expand it so anything looking from below to above can't see us, can't see what would be walking on there.
Sure, give me an
And
intelligence
so-
check.
Prasad,
Yeah, 'cause you
just
Guidance.
Prasad, just calm down for a little bit there. You're doing
Well, no-
very well, but I don't want us to. Well, everything you do create noise. We're trying to.
Well, no, that's
Wow.
well, listen to my player logic here, because if everything I'm doing is making noise, then I'm making noise in a direction we're not going, and those things will follow that noise, I assume.
Well, you did that, and then after that, you are now making noise in front of you.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, never
Yeah,
mind.
noise is not a static noise, it's noise.
You've already drawn them away, and let's. At least quite a few of them, so let's try and get a moment of respite here and take it from there later.
Can you put
And-
up the dome, Prissa?
Yeah, and I'll expand the platform just enough for the dome, and then I'll do my 10 minutes to dome it up.
All right. Ace, importantly, your storm cannot fit inside the dome.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured.
If you said these trees are hundreds or whatever feet up, right?
Yeah.
Can Prissa put like a small platform at the very top of
Sure
a
can.
nearby tree for Storm to hang out on?
Sure. And you produce more noise.
Well, but it's high enough for
It is very high up in an echoey forest. You are correct. Yeah. To be successful this one time, all you had to do was nothing. Like, it's...
You're trying
Oh,
to do
God.
too many things.
You're not wrong, but at the same
Overcompensating.
time,
Yeah.
that's what I do best.
So you guys are going to have to create another system like this to cause another distraction to get yourselves another moment where hopefully you all snuff Prissa and force her to stop doing anything.
I mean,
I
at this
figured
point,
with
all
that
we gotta do is
intelligence
cause the
check-
suspension bridges to all start falling down.
That would be a wisdom check to know if you were messing up or not intelligence.
May I do wisdom just so?
Well, you
I
said
didn't
you were
avoid.
taking your actions.
I.
That's
And you're not listening to the wise guy, so.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
so. You go another hour. At this point, I need everybody in the party to give me a con save. Prissa, disadvantage.
Does Ouch need to save?
No. He's immune to exhaustion.
Yeah.
Prissa, yours was the first one?
Yeah, and it was actually surprisingly good at disadvantage.
Yeah, good. Despite the fact that you are continually concentrating on a very malleable thing, a very inconceivable amount of magic that you are manipulating and molding, almost like a puppet master over this terrain, you manage to fortify yourself enough that it is not that encumbering upon you. Dorzin, however, your worry for everybody else and the anxiety is what's causing your heart rate to just keep sputtering. Though you are putting on a good front, a solid front, you are very, very shaken this entire time. And around this time that you've actually set up your platform to take a short rest, you are now exhausted. Jimmy, you just barely succeeded.
Ooh. Thankfully, that's...
Only
hopefully
ability checks.
Yes.
Only ability checks. But please note that down.
Yeah, I've marked it. While she's doing the whole dome thing, can I use my second wind?
Yeah.
Hit points.
Absolutely.
Wait, wasn't there?
Oh wait, +1 to that. I didn't update it for taking our level fighter.
What was the question, Jimmy?
I was gonna say, Sir Yurik, you got a win too, don't you?
Yeah, and
You can use it before your short rest, because you recharge it.
oh yeah, that's...
Fighters.
Yeah.
Zero, is it possible to do a quiet Song of Rest?
What instruments do you have?
gentle hum
I
of
can
rest.
hum.
Is that one of your instrument proficiencies you chose?
Yeah,
Singing?
he was actually singer.
Singing?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes. Then yes.
I saw the light.
I hopes we have Eye in the sky. Oh.
we are attempting a short rest.
You are attempting. Nobody roll anything, recharge anything yet.
Before we do that though, how long have we spent making illusions at this point?
We've been walking for about 2 hours.
From
Alright,
your previous fight.
Yeah. Sorry.
Into the forest, you're about 8 hours.
Yeah.
We're really close to him.
You are. What was your question, Sir Yurik?
I forget about it.
You all begin resting. You take 10 minutes checking your wounds, and Prissa, you being pushed even further than everybody else, everybody relying so heavily upon you in this instance. You take that extra 10 minutes to put up the dome for everyone. You all go inside. You instruct Storm to fly around Ace, keep itself high in the air.
Bet there's some tree branches big enough to hold a horse in this forest.
Probably, but that would involve looking and spending more time, or you can just rest a little bit now that you have a moment of respite.
I mean, one thing I didn't think about, but could have happened, is just Storm could just sit on the dome, just lay on that dome.
Well, you
there.
guys have the canopy inside of your walkway. It can't be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Storm's
yeah,
he's
shoot.
smart, or she's smart. So
Juro, mechanic question. I don't think my character would know this, but I don't know. I just thought of this, and it'll mean nothing, but me as a person would like to know. If I had thrown this Dispelling Stone at Grog, would that have unreanimated his corpse?
Who knows? It matters how powerful that reanimation was.
Yep.
The spell magic is a hell of a drug.
Yep. I didn't think of that.
There's so many situations where I'm like, why don't you have this prepared? And I don't know. Anyways, you begin your rest. Conaroth, during this time, you tend to your wounds and your eyes are beginning to shut, but you push through it a little bit. Dorzin, at one point during your rest, you actually do just fall asleep. The anxiety of everything lays heavily upon you. Everyone else, the anxiety is what's fueling your consciousness at this point in time. Dorzin.
Oh no. The weight of two souls.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Everyone else mute, please.
Oh no.
Dorzin. As soon as your eyes shut, for the third time where you're trying to push through this, you open again, and you are lying on the floor inside of a frigidly cold chamber. and you look over to Vorvik. A chain in the center of his chest dangles downwards and connects towards a chain that matches you. He just looks at you. Told you all I am waiting.
Your servants are making it difficult.
I apologize. When all of them wanted their frailties ripped away, like they were from me, they accepted the loss of everything else. But it is what they wanted. So I would not wish to remove their free will.
There's a difference between what they wanted and what they needed.
You're still drinking the holy water. I'm sorry. If you were a little older, a little wiser, maybe you would see things like I do. This isn't a bad thing that I am doing, or that you're doing. I understand it, Dorzen. I understand it very well. I've accepted this. But you still have not accepted me. How do you expect to win?
I will be honest with you. It does not matter if I win. It matters that I try. Otherwise, I'm forsaking everything else.
Are your goals that malleable? Your wants that insignificant that you would say your winning doesn't matter? Dorzen. He takes steps closer towards you. The chain never slack despite the distance. Then you forfeited your existence to me.
No. I have given up and lost the things that I valued the most in attempts. Sorry, misspoke on that last bit. I have lost my freedom. I've lost the people who raised me. And now I am trying to save the ones that I can. The ones that I care. The ones that I chose to fight alongside with.
And yet you say it doesn't matter if you win.
It doesn't matter if I die as long as I get rid of you too.
That's different, brother. For the first time since you've seen him, he smiles. And surprisingly, his expression is soft. That is different. I would feel bad if you did everything she said. Just to come here and accept that you would die. And I would take your destiny. Now that I know that you want it as badly as I do, then it is fair. You may wish to hurry, you and your friends. If your convictions are as powerful as you claim. I've just reached the walls of Amon. He begins stepping away from you. And you notice that the chain pulls at him as soon as he gets further than 10 feet. Closer and closer. Show me if you have a stronger will than I do. Warn them. Dorzin, you snap awake. Everyone else is getting their things put together, situated after their short rest. You all did complete a short rest.
Okay, thank goodness.
But Dorzin, you have some tragic news to tell them.
Dorzin, are you alright? You're looking...
Krista, warn Iman. He's
What?
He's going to reach their walls soon.
What? Let's see. Alright, yeah, so I guess I will have to burn my flash recall again, because it comes back short rest, and which spell? I'll think of the spell that I'm gonna lose, but for the most part we know that I'm gonna take sending, and before I send this though to who do I send this to? Pike, Scanlan, or who do?
Anyone who can inform Iman fast.
All right. Yeah. Prissa will send a message to someone she knows is reliable, and
Who?
Her teacher. And who won't let red tape stop him for shit like that. Professor Thunderbrand, he's reached the gates of. He's reached. Sorry, I'm trying to think of all this.
No, you're
stuff to say.
frantic. Keep going. Yeah.
He's reached Iman. You need to warn, repair the city, and stop him, or hold him off.
Stop. You were frantic.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Lyceum has called back every member to the school. Me and 2 professors have opened up the gates to the city. Vox Machina has been pushed back. Please hurry.
Yeah, and Prissa will relay that to her party. So I couldn't think of how to phrase that as Prissa.
Yo, everybody remember about that Bard Song of Rest?
Yeah, you get that extra D6. Or D10, thank you.
Do we roll the D10 or does
To make it
Ace
easier,
roll that?
Ace roll 1, all of you get it.
Okay, sounds good.
And keep in mind, not all of you had extra hit dice or that many remaining hit dice. You used a few of them your previous short rest. Prissa, if you would like to use your recharge spell slot ability, feel free.
Yeah, the arcane recovery. I
Yep.
was gonna get to that.
It's limited up to a 5th level spell, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's let me post that again because I need to read it again myself.
A number of spell slots equal to half of your wizard level, no higher than 6th level.
Yeah, so
I did that
that's...
wrong. I thought Ace's song meant that we all roll d10s for the hit dice.
Oh no!
No. Restart. Just roll your hit dice and add a D10 hit die to it.
Yep.
Oh, that would be fucking busted. Except bards would never pair with barbarians.
Quick question. So,
fuck your music.
half of level 13. I'm trying to remember. Do we round up or down?
It says it in the
rounded.
spell. Round it up.
no higher than 6th.
Yeah, so you get 7 levels worth of spells, no slot higher than 6th.
Okay. That works for me.
Eric, you have 8 levels in fighter?
No, that's cleric, D8.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And
Sorry.
you misspoke
I
there.
saw the 10 and got confused.
No slots can be 6th level or higher.
So 5th level is your highest. Yes, thank you. It should just say none of the slots can be higher than 5th level.
Yeah.
Like, fucking words, man. This is why 5.5 is coming out.
They're cleaning up the grammar.
Yeah.
That burned
All
Alright, so what was the die everybody got? 7? Ace.
Yep,
Make
7, so you
make
add
sure
7.
you all gain an additional 7. All of your short rest abilities, action surges, second winds, artificer things, channel divinity. I don't know, so like that was Your ouch is more ouchy.
Tell you what I can do in a short rest. I can attune to something.
Yes, you
but
can.
I have nothing to attune to.
Yeah. If any of you wanted to swap attunements for anything, this would be the time.
I got nothing.
Does anybody have an open attunement slot?
I do.
I do.
Conoroth, you do?
I do. I have because of Mystic Conflux.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have 4 slots.
Yeah.
Great fucking feat. And Ace, you do?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this would be of help, but I do have this necklace that I'm not attuned to right now. It's the Medallion of Mind Reading. Is that what it's called? Medallion of Thought. Yeah, it lets you detect thoughts 3 times. It has 3 charges. It lets you detect thoughts.
I have a vicious scimitar if anyone wants that.
You know,
It's not attunement. Well, is Vicious? No, Vicious is an attunement.
No.
but if you do have an extra sword, prior to meeting you guys, I had no needs of weapons, but let's just say our journey and our story has changed.
Do you not have a weapon?
I got my walking stick.
Oh my god. Take my scimitar!
And you are proficient with scimitars.
Yes.
So
What
go
I
ahead
find
and
funny is
add a Vicious Scimitar to your character sheet, Ace.
All right.
what I find funny too is that Dorzan, Ace, and stuff are one of the most perceptive members, and Dorzan didn't notice that till now.
He has a really
Oh,
good
that's-
shield.
That's
Really
right,
good
I gave my
shield.
flame tongue scimitar to somebody else. That's why I thought I had more.
Alrighty. Everybody, you're prepared?
No.
Onward to death.
Well then,
Follow the horseman.
everybody, we're taking a short rest. Or a short break. Be right back.